Hey, I'm Jesse Hunt with Unofficial. We're a web design and digital marketing agency located in downtown Memphis. Since 2002, I've been helping Mid-South businesses just like yours improve their websites and find more customers on the internet. Today, I'm going to perform a video website audit on your website that'll show you some areas for improvement that might be hurting your business. The entire audit will take 15 to 20 minutes and should leave you substantially more informed about what's working and what's not working so well on your website. I hope you'll find the audit informative and that you'll keep me in mind if you ever need some help working on your existing website or building a new one. Thanks a lot for watching. Let's get started.
Hey Carol, so as you can see, we're here on the homepage of your website at www.memphismediacompany.com. And what I'd like to do is take a couple minutes, click through your website, make some observations about what I'm seeing here on the website. From there, we'll take a look at some information that Google tells us about your site. We'll look at some Google search engine results and see how you're doing there. And then we'll come back to your website. We'll use a couple tools that I've got installed here on my browser to get a better understanding of what's happening from a technical standpoint on your website. So when I first land on your website, I notice a couple things. I notice your logo here, which looks nice, and I notice this really bright, vibrant video that's scrolling through and demonstrating kind of clip type samples of what I presume is your work. First impression when I land on the website is really good, really strong. I think it looks really nice. That's a really good job there. Other things that I noticed right off the bat whenever I'm here on your site, I noticed that you've got a call to action here with your phone number and your email address, and you've got some social media links. And I tested those before I started the video, and they all work, so good job there. In terms of the call to action, I think call us today is a good call to action, but it's kind of small up here at the top. One thing I might recommend having on the home page is maybe a stronger call to action, whether that's a contact form, or request a consultation form, or request a quote form, or just a get in touch now form, something like that. Make it really easy for people to be able to get in touch with you whenever they're ready to get in contact. I find that whenever you put a contact form in a prominent location near the top, specifically of the home page, but really of every page on a website, the number of contacts that you get through that website goes up pretty considerably. So I'd recommend doing that probably. As I scroll down the page here, the video goes away, and now we're talking about consumer behavior and benefits of video and risky business and all that good stuff. I think my primary critique here is I think you need more text on this page. Google doesn't understand fancy video and beautiful pictures. Google understands text. Google likes lots and lots of text. So the more text that you give Google, the more visitors that Google will give you. And obviously more visitors equals more leads, and more leads equals more business equals better return on investment from your website, right? So I would recommend trying to get your website, get your homepage with at least 500 words of text on it. And I don't necessarily mean one gigantic block of 500 to 1,000 words, but you can break the text up in little bite-sized chunks, have it separated with pictures and video clips and all that good stuff, but just add more information to the homepage. When I scroll down here, again, I see your phone number and your email address down here in the footer. See some recent blog posts. That's good. Blogs are always good for search engine purposes. Some information from Twitter, some recent work thumbnails. I don't see any physical address on this page. I would recommend that you have a physical address on every page of your website. Google really likes to see that your name, address, and phone number information is very easily accessible on your website, and that information that's on your website is extremely consistent with what's in your Google local profile, your Google local listing, as well as all the other websites across the internet that reference your business. We call that a citation, but basically anytime a website includes your business name, address, and phone number, that's a citation. So Yellow Pages directories, Better Business Bureau, any kind of directories, really any website that includes a reference to your business name, address, and phone number. Could even be like a description in a YouTube video, for example. But anytime your business is referenced like that, you want to make sure that the information in there is very consistent with what's on your website and in your Google listing. I do see that you've got copyright 2015 down here in the footer, and obviously it's 2016 now, so you might consider updating that just to make it look current, like the website's totally up to date. So now let's click through video pricing. It's taking a second to load, and now that it's loaded, all right, so it brings me right to a real estate video order form, and okay, so here's the pricing down here. So my gut feeling is when I first landed on this page, and I've actually looked at this page about 3 or 4 times now prior to doing this video, and this is the first time that I've noticed that you've got pricing information down here. And every other time that I've seen it, it just I saw the video order form text up here and immediately felt like I was maybe being rushed into action before I had all the information that I really wanted, especially since I clicked on something that said video pricing. I was really expecting to see pricing, and then before I ever see the pricing, you're asking me to order. It just felt a little rushed. So maybe just some text that kind of describes the pricing and what people are going to get before you hit them up for all their contact information. Might be a good thing, and you might test it both ways and just see which version gets a better conversion rate. I mean, your method here might be better than what I'm suggesting in terms of what converts better, but to me it felt rushed whenever I came here and was immediately asked to place an order before I actually knew what the price was. All right, so our work. Okay, so when I get here, I see there are 3 different categories: commercial real estate, commercial videos, and real estate. And on this particular one, it looks like there's just one video on commercial videos, and then 2 here. So I know I've seen a whole bunch of samples of your work on Facebook and Twitter and places like that I've looked around, YouTube. I'm curious why you don't have more of that on your website. I feel like this section would feel a lot more informative and a lot more useful if you included some of those other videos that I've seen in other places. So, really, I think the key is to make your website as informative as you possibly can. Put as much information as you can on the website. The more information you put on there, the more your visitors are going to like it, but also the more that Google's going to like it. Google loves lots of content, so give Google content and they will reward you with traffic. All right, so come over to the blog, and I looked at this earlier, and the blog, I noticed the blog is all about real estate videos. I gather that's your niche, so to speak. So let's see, when was it up? September 1st, 2014, September 2014, October 2014. So your most recent blog post was October 30th, 2014. I think that's a problem. Anytime you have a blog on a website, you got to keep it up to date. If you're not going to update the blog, you might as well get rid of it, because it just makes your website look kind of abandoned, and you lose the benefits of the blog as far as like the search engine rankings are concerned, because the whole purpose for having a blog is to have frequently updated content. It's the recency of the content, how frequently you update it, that really helps to drive the search engine rankings and that kind of thing. So I would encourage you to get more active with your blogging, or get somebody to help you with your blogging. Keep that thing up to date as much as possible, and you'll see better search engine rankings as a result, I think. All right, and then contact us. Let's look at that page real quick. And so here we've got a map embed. It shows that you're in Arlington. Is that accurate? I'm curious if you're really in Arlington or if you're somewhere else. For some reason, I had the impression that you were, I don't know, maybe in DeSoto County. Maybe that's just because you worked with Jim Ferguson, and maybe I'm absolutely wrong about that. But again, I mentioned earlier having a physical address. I don't see one even on the Contact Us page, so maybe you just don't want people to know where you're located. But from a search engine standpoint and getting local search engine results, having an address that you use as a business address, even if that's like a UPS store address or something, that will help you with your search engine rankings. And I would put it on every page of your website. Make sure it's in your Google listing. Make sure it's in all your online Yellow Pages listings and all that stuff. And those citations will help to give you better search engine rankings. All right, so next up here, what I did, I Googled Memphis Media Company, and I see that your website comes up number 1 here, your Facebook comes up number 2, and then a video that you created here on YouTube's number 3. So that's good, but really I was hoping to see a great big listing over here for your business, what I call a Google local listing, and it's not showing up, which tells me you probably don't have one. Let's see, I'm going to click on Maps real quick and just see what it shows, and I apologize, my internet seems to be a little slow today. Yeah, so when I came here, it doesn't appear that you have a Google local listing. I think you need to fix that. Google local listings can really help to drive a lot of traffic to your website. I'll show you what I'm talking about real quick. So I'm just going to Google Unofficial Memphis. Unofficial is the name of my company, and as you'll see here, this pulls up. So this has my company name. It shows, our 5-star reviews. Shows we have 23 reviews. Our address, our phone number, our hours. Some snippets from some of our reviews. It's got pictures of our business, map, the outside, the street view. So this listing right here, you just set up with a service. Google calls it Google My Business. But you can create a listing there. It's really easy to actually create the listing and claim it. It takes a little more work and a little more know-how in order to optimize it and make it where it's really well optimized for the search engines, but it's worth the effort. But having a listing like this can really drive a lot of search engine results, particularly like if they show a map result for the search engine, for the particular search engine listing. So. All right, I'm going to close actually I'll leave that open for now. Next up here, so this is a tool that Google provides to website developers. It's called the mobile friendly test, and Google wants to see that your website's mobile friendly, that it looks as good on an iPad and an iPhone or an Android device as it does on a desktop computer. And as you can see, Google says, awesome, this page is mobile friendly. So I'm going to leave it at that and say good job for having a mobile friendly website, and not a whole lot of reason to talk too much more about that. All right, next, I tried to put myself in the shoes of somebody that would be looking for your services. And I said, all right, if I was looking for what Carol does, what would I type into Google in order to find it? And so the first thing that came to mind for me was Memphis Video Productions. That was the keyword that I typed in. Now, these first 4 listings up here, you can see these little green icons next to them. These are advertisements. People pay to be here. The more you pay, the higher you rank. It's a little more complicated than that, but that's the gist of it. If you've got a huge budget, you can always show up at the top of Google's results. So we're going to ignore those for the sake of this discussion. Now here, this is the map listing. This is what I was talking about earlier with the local results. So the fact that you don't have a Google local listing means you will probably not ever show up in these listings until you set up that local result. So definitely need to get that done, need to get it optimized, and there's some things that can be done on your website to make it jive with that local listing to increase the likelihood that you show up in these map results. But as you can see, you're not there right now. And as I scroll down, these organic listings down here, we call these organic listings, these have a lot to do with how your website was built. Does it have the right keywords in the right places the right number of times? Do you have other websites that link back to your website? Google views those inbound links as votes of confidence. Other things that Google views as like trust factors. So how old is your domain name? How long has the website been around? Are your citations consistent across the internet? Things like that. Do you have ratings, for example, like these ratings here? That plays in more in the map results, but may have some to do with this as well. But a lot of this has to do with having your website built right and having other websites link back to you. But as I scroll down through here, you're not showing up at all on the first page here of the Google results for this Memphis video production keyword. So that's probably a missed opportunity. If you want more business from those types of keywords, then I think there's some work that could be done in order to better rank you and in order to help you get a better return on investment from your website. Next, I searched Memphis video marketing. Once again, so this time there's no map result, but as we scroll down through these organic results here, you're not showing up at all in these organic results. So yet again, another missed opportunity there. Another thing I think could probably be done, I know you've got a whole lot of videos in your portfolio. Creating a good video about your company and then optimizing the heck out of it to push it up to the top of these search results could probably really help to get you some additional traffic as well. So that might be another thing that you want to consider doing. Finally, I searched Memphis real estate videos. I noticed there was a strong emphasis on real estate, both on your website as well as on your Facebook and YouTube channel and all that good stuff. So the first thing that comes up here is your Facebook page, not your website. Then this thumbtack listing, which is obviously going to lead people away from you. That's going to lead them other places. There's a number of different videos here that look like you created all of these, but these aren't really going to help you to generate business necessarily. And then as we scroll down, you have the number 9 and number 10 spot on this page here at the very bottom of the page for your website. So the fact that your website's just flat being beat out by your Facebook and a bunch of videos that you created for clients tells me that there's some issue there. There's something that needs to be fixed with your website in order to help your website rank at the top. Your website should be your number one marketing tool, and so we want to see it show up above all of your other stuff, and then allow your Facebook and your YouTube videos and your Twitter and all those things to support your website in the search results and help use those to push your competition out of the search results. But I always like to see my clients' websites at the very top, just because that's the place where you can put the most relevant information and the information that people are really looking for whenever they're ready to do business. So, all right, I'm going to close that out. Next, I'm going to come back to your website real quick. I'm going to go back to your home page, and then I've got this little utility installed here on my browser, and I'm going to let this page finish loading real quick. All right, it's finished loading. All right, so this little utility right here, this is called the Google Tag Assistant. This scans the code on your website, and it looks for any Google tags that you might have. Specifically, I'm hoping to find a tag here called Google Analytics. And as you can see, you do have Google Analytics installed. Unfortunately, it's showing 3 Google Analytics tags. And if we look here, so this number 1 shows Google Analytics, and then under it, there's a number, some letters and numbers here. This is like your account number with Google Analytics. And as we look at that, what I can tell is this number 1 and number 2 are both the same Google Analytics tracking code. So you've got a duplicate installation of this Google Analytics account, and then you've got another Google Analytics account installed down here with a different user ID. I'm really concerned about that. One, I'm curious whether you're using your Google Analytics, whether you pay attention to it. Google Analytics provides really good data to be able to track how much traffic you're getting and where they're coming from and what they're doing while they're on your website. It's a great tool for being able to better understand whether your website is generating a good return on investment. However, anytime you duplicate a tracking code like this, it tends to break the tracking so that it doesn't count properly. Sometimes it doesn't count the tracking at all, and then other times it just double counts stuff, or it just gets it where it's confused and not tracking properly. And then I've noticed the same things happen sometimes whenever you have 2 separate accounts. So the fact that you've got a duplicate account and another account really concerns me. I'm concerned that you're not getting accurate analytics data here. I would encourage you to get rid of all but one of these, and then make sure that you're paying attention to it and reading that data. And if you're not real familiar with Google Analytics and you want somebody to go through the analytics and kind of give you some pointers on what you need to be looking at on that, I'd be glad to go through that with you as well. All right, and I've got one last tool installed here that I want to look at. So this is called SEO Quake, and this is a page SEO audit, so page search engine optimization audit. And it scans through the code of your website and gives me a real quick rundown on what's been done from a search engine optimization standpoint behind the scenes on your website. And I'm just going to hit the highlights here. The first thing I look at is your title tag. Now I'm going to come back to this Google result. Now right here at the top of your listing, this purple text, it's purple because we've clicked on it. If we hadn't clicked on it, it would be blue. But the link at the top of your listing, this is pulled from your title tag of your website. So if we look at yours, Memphis Media Company is what you're using as your title. To me, this says it's optimal. I disagree. I think it's actually a little bit too short. The other thing is, if you want to rank for a particular keyword in Google's results, it's a really good idea to include it in your title tag. And so I would encourage you to incorporate one of your most targeted keywords in your homepage title, and then change your title on each page to include a different keyword phrase. Next up, meta description. So if we look at the search engine results, I told you a minute ago, this is your title. Obviously, oops, sorry. Obviously, this is your website address here. And then below that, right here, this is usually pulled from a website's meta description tag. So if we come back over to your, to this audit here, it says, we produce HD videos for real estate agents. We create property listing videos, interview videos, and more. Hire Memphis Media Company for all your real estate. That's all. Real estate what? My recommendation here, so the length of this is good. Meta description really gives you the ability to provide a compelling description of why somebody should click your website instead of the competition. So I would encourage you to maybe rework that a little bit and try to, as succinctly as possible, tell people why they should choose you instead of your competition, or why they should click your website instead of somebody else's. Why should they click your website instead of Running Pony, or instead of one of the other companies that showed up in those search results a few minutes ago? All right, a little further down here, heading tags. So headings are usually like bold, big sections of text, like bold text it's a larger font than the rest of the text on your website. It usually appears like above a text section, like above some paragraph text or something like that. And they're ordered in terms of importance, from an H1 being the most important to H6 being the least important heading tag. Heading tags are another great place to put your keywords if you want to rank in the search engines for them. Unfortunately, your website doesn't have an H1 tag at all, so it's a huge missed opportunity. And then your H2 tags, they say vision, story, branding, consumer behavior, benefits of video, risky business, contact info, recent posts, on and on. They're not optimized. They don't have your keywords there. So I would encourage you to work on the heading tags some. Text to HTML ratio, they say, is not bad, but they recommend adding more text. I've already talked about that. You definitely want to add more text. An AMP version, so this is fairly new. Google's actually encouraging people to use an AMP version now, which is an accelerated mobile page. It basically, an AMP version does is it makes your website create a mobile version that will load instantly on mobile devices when somebody looks at your website from a mobile device. And so this is fairly new. I don't think Google's penalizing people for not having this yet, but I think this is going to be a really big deal in the coming months and years. So if you're going to fix the other stuff that I've talked about here, I would encourage you to do that as well. And then as we scroll down, the only other thing here, it says XML sitemaps. Your website does not contain an XML sitemap, and that can weaken your SEO. So basically, an XML sitemap is a file that is used by the search engines to determine all of your pages, so that you make sure that the search engines know all the pages that you've got and when they were last updated and what the priority of each page is. I would definitely recommend that you add an XML sitemap to your website. It's just a good practice to have, if nothing else. So, Carol, I'm going to wrap it up right there. I don't want to jabber on too long, take up too much of your time, or overwhelm you here. But long story short, I think there's definitely some room for improvement. I think there are definitely some things that can be done to help you get more business from your website, help you to be able to get better search engine rankings, and all that's squarely in our wheelhouse. So my ultimate goal here is to become a resource to you, to earn your trust, and ultimately to earn your business. I would love to be your go-to website and internet marketing guy. And based on what you do here, I've got a number of customers that need video stuff done on an ongoing kind of basis, and really don't have a great video person right now. So there might be some opportunity there for us to collaborate and work together and be able to help each other out on that front as well. So once you take a look at the video, if you like what I had to say here, then give me a shout and let's chat. I think we've definitely got some things to talk about. So my cell phone number is 901-491-6490. That's 901-491-6490. I'll package this up, shoot it over to you here in a few minutes, and then give me a call once you've taken a look, and let's chat. So thanks a lot for taking the time to watch, and look forward to talking to you soon. Bye-bye.